me as an artist, I always, I grow, you know what I mean? So I feel like I'm excited to see how the music grows, not only expanding career-wise, but grows on people, you know, grows into culture.
One of my favorite parts about this album rollout specifically is how your fans have been creating like those Lizzo versions of popular album covers.
Yeah.
First of all, which of those has been your favorite? Which has made you laugh the hardest?
There's one that there's two, and they're very similar. One is like it's my Juice single, and I have like this curly Soul Glow Jerry curl, and they took the Jerry curl clean off, and I'm just like clean bald. I think that one's pretty funny. And then there's another one where I have no features on my face at all, and I just look like a mannequin head. And they were like, which one do you like, feature Lizzo or featureless Lizzo? And I was like, how are y'all doing this? This is insane.
I think that them creating that also just speaks to the type of relationship that you have with your fans and the openness that you have and the way that you contribute to those conversations that they have online. Mm-hmm. Why is it important for you to continue to interact with them in that way?
Well, I started off my career very like active on social media and like talking directly to the people who support me and my fan base. I built them online. You know, I was part of the first generation to really do that, and this is like a part of what I do. This is, you know, people look at me now and they're like, oh, you're, you know, Lizzo, you're this big Grammy-winning artist. Like, why are you on Twitter talking to your fans? I'm like, honey, because that's what I do. This is how I got here. I'm not going to forget where I came from. So I've had so much fun doing it. Like, I have there's like a little group chat called Lizzo Land, and we're all in there. It's like over 500 people, and we're all just talking every day and sharing memes, and they're like, good morning, queen. I'm like, good morning, Lizzo Land. Well, I've never given birth to a baby, but it's what I imagine giving birth to a baby is like. You know, it's your secret, and it's yours for so long, and you're growing it, and it's so special and sacred to you and the family. And then one day your baby's just out in the world, and your baby is going to school, and your baby's dealing with other people, and people have opinions about your baby, and you can't control it, and you can't control, for the most part, what your baby grows up to be. So for me, I feel like I just let go, you know, as best as a parent can. I'm like, it's out now. I'm an artist, you know, so I'm going to continue to create art. I think as soon as my album is out, it's always like, okay, what's the next creative project? What's the next endeavor? So I think I'm going to already be on like some other stuff by then.
So you don't give yourself any time to breathe. You're ready to just create.
No. And I've never been this way, but now you can't be this way. The way the current landscape of the music industry and the entertainment industry is set up, you can't take no breaks. You got to keep going. So luckily, I'm the Energizer Bunny, and I'm built for it.
You also tweeted that cultural impact is more important to you than streams.
Oh, y'all been on my stuff.
Yes. How do you kind of maintain a mindset like that when it starts to, you know, get to a point where maybe if you do kind of slip into thinking about streams and numbers?
I ruffled a lot of feathers, and I knew I would. I'm such a world-class rage baiter when I said that, cultural impact over streams. But I was saying that because it's true, like, to me. And it's like, if that's not true to you, honey, do you. That's true to me. I know that when I'm online and I see things, and I'm looking at numbers, and I'm looking at interactions with me, that does not reflect what's happening in real life. When I go out and I play shows and I see people in the street, I've had a true impact on people, you know, and culture. And that to me is what keeps me doing this. If I relied on streams and numbers to fuel me and to remind me that I'm successful, I would be miserable, because it's so fickle. And it's like, you know how many of these streams is bots? And that's the tea. So how much of it is even real? The only thing that's real is how your music has made people feel and the legacy that you've left as an artist. Mozart didn't stream. What's Mozart? Well, Mozart's streaming now, actually. But we're still talking about Mozart to this day and his impact. You know what I mean? It's not about that. It's about how your music makes people feel and how it's changed people for the better. So that I wrote that for me to keep me grounded. Yeah. And I'm always right. I could get 1 billion streams on my album tomorrow. That tweet is going to still be right. You know what I mean? Because the fact that people have come up to me and said that I've literally changed their life for the better just by like existing in my music and creating a song that helped them get through something. At my concert, I said something on stage. It was just like some funny banter to me, but they got it tatted on them and they said, this helped me get out of my abusive marriage. That's going to matter way more than how many numbers I streamed that day to me.
Is there a specific moment where you can kind of pinpoint where you said to yourself, wow, this, like, I have an impact on people?
A long time ago, I had the realization. It was just the way people were coming up to me after the shows, and you know, I'm that girl, like, I'll talk to people. I'll talk to fans after a show, like, and I'll be like, yeah, well, how was it? Did you like it? Or they'll come up to me and tell me, and the stories that they share with me is enough. But it's deep. It's really deep stuff. Like, and it just reminds me how impactful and how incredible music is as a gift to the world, because music has saved my life. You know what I mean? So I gotta give her tens. And to know that I'm an artist who's made music that has saved other people's lives is like the honor of my career and of my life.
Yes. Who are some artists that have had that level of an impact on you?
Oh, Destiny's Child. I remember Happy Face was just like a song that I would play over and over and over when I was sad, or if I felt like alone, and I would just listen into the words. It's like, and it would always lift me up. Like, I woke up this morning, the sunshine was shining, I put on my happy face. I loved that song when I was a little girl, and that really motivated me. Ludacris, Missy Elliott, like, you know, like just growing up and looking at artists be artists and being like, oh, can I do that? I can do that, you know? And now I am doing it. And I would say that's pretty life-saving and life-changing, you know? Yes. That song is so funny to me because it's written about someone else's perspective of me, and it's satire. It's totally satire, and it started with someone else's experience of me, and then I just turned it into kind of a movie. I was like, I like had this like vision of like me and like my bedroom as a teenager with like B2K on the walls. And I'm like writing in my diary, mad. Like I was like so mad that Janae got to be around them when, because they were like, this is Lil Fizz's cousin. And I was like, that should be me. So it's kind of just like that energy.
Well, you also sampled some go-go on this album as well. Why was it important for you to kind of highlight that type of music, especially with you not even being from the DMV?
I'm not from the DMV. Are you from the DMV?
I'm not, but I went to Howard.
Okay. You know. Is you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, period. Okay, a couple things. And I went and I wrote a letter to DC recently because I know how important this song Sexy Lady is to them, and I've seen so many reactions, and I heard the beat. This was years ago. I wrote this song 3 years ago. I heard the beat, and I knew about go-go because one of my closest friends ever, she is from DC, and like her father is the founder of Madness, which is like the first ever streetwear brand. And she would always be like, girl, you gotta go to the go-go. You gotta go to the go-go. And I'd be like, okay, one of these days. But I heard the song and I wrote to the song before I had any kind of context. And I don't want that to be disrespectful to anyone, but like you said, I'm from Houston. So I didn't know. And I wrote to it. I was like, oh, this is hard. And I remember I played the demo for my friend, and she was like, she got out the car and started shaking butt, holding the side of the car. And I was like, what's going on? She was like, girl, this is an iconic song. You don't even know. I can't believe you're doing this. I was like, wait, what? Remember, this was 3 years ago. So since then, I have been educated on it, and I knew how deeply personal it was to people from DC. I had no idea it would have the reaction it had, when I put it out. But I already knew off rip it wouldn't be right if I didn't include. UCB had already been, they cleared the sample, they gotten the credit, they'd been accredited. But I was like, you know what? It's featuring UCB because it is their song. So I felt very honored to be able to do that. That's the kind of girl I am, though. I'm not greedy. I'm not stingy. And I knew that the cultural significance of sampling this song outweighed whether it was the ownership of it, whether it was mine. I was like, I'm not about to own this moment, because I started to see people not from DC start to like turn up to songs like, oh, this is my song of the summer. And I was like, okay, how would I feel if somebody took a Houston song and this is my song now, So I was like, I never want to be that girl. So I went out of my way to I went to DC. I did the front porch. I always wanted to do the front porch ever since I seen Patty do it, but front porch, and really connected with UCB, Mikey, Trey, and the way I've been embraced has just been so incredible, and it made the experience so much more worth it. This is my song of the summer. I'll tell you that much. I knew about Go-Go because there was Crazy in Love is famously a Go-Go sample, or One Thing by A. Marie is famously a Go-Go sample. But I tried to make a Go-Go song from scratch, and I played it for my friend, and she was like, girl, this is not Go-Go. So I'm glad that I actually had the opportunity to go to DC and go to a real Go-Go and actually experience it and actually fall in love with Sexy Lady while I was creating Sexy Ladies. I let me be very clear. I had named my album Love in Real Life. That was going to be LZ3. And it was named after a song. Actually, that's a lie. I wanted to name my album Love in Real Life, and I hadn't written the song yet. And I always name my albums after a song. So, cause I Love You is a song and special. So this time I was like, I have to write a song called Love in Real Life. So I spent 1.5 years trying to write a song called Love in Real Life, and I finally did. I wrote 10,000 songs. I finally nailed it. And I finished that iteration of the album. I put that single out, which I still think is an incredible song, and I can't wait to play that. I think that's a stadium record. And the rollout, I pressed pause on the rollout. And because Love in Real Life and Still Bad are already out, I decided to leave them out. And I couldn't name this album Love in Real Life. So I was looking at it, and I was like, what is this album called? And I was like, bitch, what am I doing? It's been here the whole time. And it's so funny because my collaborator and executive producer, Ricky Reed, before we even mastered Love in Real Life, he was like, I wish we could just name the album Bitch. And I was like, Ricky, oh my God, that's scandalous. But I kept that in the back of my mind. And I was like, here we are. And it's called Bitch. And I didn't realize it would be as controversial as it ended up being. But I am always such an unintentionally controversial person. I don't know how it happens, but here I am, baby. The controversy.
I mean, I feel like there's also an extreme level of authenticity with that, because you said it's your favorite word, and that's how you came to it, and it feels right for you.
Yeah, and I think that coming from me, Mrs. 100% that bitch, it feels more empowering and lighter than I think it would if I wasn't that girl, and it came off as very oh, she's trying to be punk, she's trying to be feminist. It's no, y'all know how I say this word, I've been doing this since Truth Hurts. So I think people are very familiar with me in that word. So it doesn't come off as like, ooh, what is she doing? Like, it's just very natural.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you also, like, we're talking about you being able to make those choices creatively, but you had said once that as an underground artist, you kind of felt like you pretty much had to say yes all the time. And I think that's a experience that is so relatable in entertainment, but also just across several industries.
Mm-hmm.
Have you reached the point, and if so, when did you reach the point where you recognize, like, no, I can have a say, like I can say no to some stuff if I need to?
I feel like I'm still kind of learning that. Like, I think in my career, I said yes to everything as an indie artist because I was like, this is how I'm feeding my family. I'm putting food on the table. This is how I'm paying my rent. And then you get to a point where you're a major label artist and you're a part of this industry and you're a pop star and you can be a little selective. And I think some things I was exclusive and I didn't even know. Like, there's a lot of people just being like, no, for me, So I did learn about exclusivity. Once you become like a pop star, you get that kind of luxury. But I think as a person, I still said yes. As Melissa, I was still, oh, that's fine. Yes. Okay. That's cool. Yes. And I would like work myself raggedy, and I think, only recently am I learning to be like, hey, no, I don't like how that sounds. I don't like how that feels. I don't want to do this. I need this day off. Like I'm still learning how to do that and assert myself. But I think that's a life thing. I don't think that just comes overnight. I love About Damn Time and Truth Hurts, and I want to write 5 million more of those, because it was fun to write and I love to perform them. I think when I told the label that I wanted to go in a different creative direction, I think I meant just like literally like I want to get another creative director. I want to like change my marketing style. I think it was more on that end, but musically, no. I mean, who else is going to give you feel good bops?
Absolutely. So you want the music to stay true to who you've already always been.
I think the music is going to be like, it's going to evolve and be whatever I feel like making. Like, I make a lot of music. For this album, I wrote like 150 or something songs, and you whittle it down to 12. And it's like, there's more where that comes from. I think that, there's something cool about being the only person who can do what you do. But then sometimes I feel like it puts me in a box because I can do so many other styles of music. Like, even on this album, I was able to explore a little bit more stylistically, which was nice for me. And we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I mean, everything is an experiment now.
You also are going to play Sister Rosetta Tharpe in her upcoming biopic, which I think gives you a little bit of an opportunity to explore in new ways. So how are you preparing to kind of tell the life story of someone who has had such a significant influence on music?
How am I preparing? There was like a whole summer last year where I kind of locked myself away and like couldn't have long nails because I was learning guitar, and it was very exciting. I was even playing guitar last year on stage and kind of starting to step into that bag. I have read every book there is on her, which there aren't many books, but I've read every book, and I think there's a lot of parallels between Sister Rosetta and I, not just life story, like, oh, she from Kojic, I'm from Kojic. She was a child prodigy with her instrument, I was a child prodigy with my instrument. Like, not only just that, but I think energetically, and there's a lot of questions that I already have the answers to that is so exciting to be able to like bring to life on screen. Right now, I'm so deep in album promotion mode that actress Lizzo she's sitting in the back burner for a little bit. Just like, let me go on tour. And then I'll really start diving in, because I respect the art form of acting so much that I want to really just like get with an acting coach, sit down and like become Rosetta. And I think that's going to take a lot of like time and like none of this. Yeah. Like, okay, all right, bitch. All right, girl, sit. Let me focus on this now. And I cannot wait. I'm so excited.
Yes. Well, tell me about that first time that you went out on stage with a guitar. What did that feel like for you? Were there some nerves?
Yes. And I was live streaming on Twitch. Like, why did I do that? And it was New York, and I was like, oh my gosh, what if I like mess up, or what if I was so scared, actually. And you know, the funny thing about it is, after that first show, because I played a few shows, after that first show, the next show, I wasn't scared at all. I was like, oh, I don't know what it is, but that's what I mean. There's like an energy there where I'm like, thank you, Rosetta. Like, because the first time I did it, I was like, my fingers hurt, because you know, them strings, you get blisters. My fingers were hurting, and I was like really scared before. And then the next show, my fingers didn't hurt at all. It was as if I got the blisters out on the first show, which I know is not possible. I know every guitar player is looking at me and rolling their eyes, but I promise you that my fingers just didn't hurt the next show. And I had no fear of messing up, because I was like, that's rock and roll. You know, if I want to get on the ground, I got on the ground and was like, with a note, and I was like, I could do that if I want, and I'll be okay.
Yeah. Well, is this role kind of deepening your appreciation for what it means to like really know the origins of a specific genre of music?
It's the opposite. I think because I'm hyper aware that a Black woman innovated and created the sound of rock and roll, I've been on a mission to tell this story since 2019. And I featured when I did SNL the first time, I wanted my guitar player to wear a coat like Sister Rosetta. Like, that was just because we had all these Gucci coats, and I was like, I want her to wear a coat like Rosetta, and I want her strap to say sister. I was like, I have to do that as an homage to her. And then I rocked out Truth Hurts. And then when I did my music video Rumors with Cardi B, I was like, when I say Black people made rock and roll, I was like, I want to feature Rosetta Tharpe on a vase hitting the guitar. And so you can see these little moments where I've referenced her and talked about her. And so for me, I feel like this is a long time coming. I feel like I want to educate people versus me being educated. Of course, I'm going to learn more and more about Rosetta Tharpe, but in the process, I really want people to know where rock and roll came from.
You have always been a symbol of positivity for women, for the Black community and other communities of color, and just in general, and you absolutely are. But there were also some lawsuits that are still in litigation. How has that kind of affected you from an artist standpoint, or just even personally?
I think today I am happy and excited about my album and like looking to the future. You know, I feel like the most interesting thing about me is my music and my artistry, and I just want to celebrate that and think about that. That's what makes me smile every morning. I have a picture book coming out called When Lil Lizzo Met Sasha B. Flutin, and I'm so excited about it. It's the story of baby me, and but it's kind of overly dramatized because I didn't travel to space and the jungle and the ocean, and Sasha can't really talk, but it's the story of how this young girl feels left out and she doesn't have a voice, and she meets this magical talking flute who also can't play music, and it's like, how you a flute and you can't sing? So they go on this journey together, and they find their voices together, and it's a story of friendship, but it's really a story of like listening to yourself and believing in yourself, you know what I mean, self-determination. And I'm really excited for people to read it. And I can't wait to go around. I want to do a book tour where I just go around and I read the book. Because I remember being in elementary school and the teacher opening the book and showing the pictures and reading. I want to do that so bad.